Welcome, CNG 132. We're entering week 7, almost the halfway point of the semester. Make sure that you're definitely positioning yourself for a smooth ending to the semester. Keep on getting that work done. Keep on pushing ahead. You're going to see how security plays out. This course, just learning the fundamentals, is going to play out in every course in the future. With your time at Front Range, or with your time if you go to a 4 year, and if you go to a 6 year, um, yeah, I would even say your doctorate, because you're going to be like, oh, I remember, kind of remember that from 132. This week we look at administrating a secure network. What protocols should we be using? Rolling back to that, uh, what do I want to say there? You want to, you can reflect back to the um, TCP/IP model and say, kind of pull it apart there and say, okay, what security protocols do we have at each level? What should I be using on my network? What shouldn't I be using on my network? We look at firewalls, IPS, IDS. Where do we have those positioned on our network? Rolling back to 124, 125, you're going to start thinking about, okay, um, how should I define my network topology? Where's going to be, am I going to have a DMZ? Am I not going to have a DMZ? Where's the firewall going to be located? Is it going to be just one firewall um, in the front blocking the internet, or am I going to have two firewalls, one blocking the internet and then one kind of um, at the last spot before the users enter that server, say it's a web server or file server, one spot before the internal users reach that server, just to block somebody, I don't know, bringing in a bad USB, because that happens too. Actually, a very famous military exercise was carried out by dropping USBs and then having the place that was trying to be attacked, they plugged in the USB and was attacked. I'd have to look it up with the Google search, but very I have to remember the name, but it was very successful. Let's see, analyzing security data. I know with Windows, if we let me open up mine. Um, well, I was hopefully trying to bring up Windows logs. Logs are generated every click I do. There's an IRQ, something else is sent. If I press a key, another log is created. So there's many, many logs, but is there a person that is sitting in a cubicle and that's all he does is just look at logs? I doubt that. More than likely, you're going to baseline logs for a day, and then if there's any out of normal, you have a printout, baseline a log for a week, baseline a log for um, a month, and you're going to figure out, what's abnormal that you should be looking at, and what is normal that you should be looking at. And then we get into the matrix of the positive and negatives. Is it a false positive? Is it a positive positive? Something else you not really mentioned in this class, but something else you should have in your head, that they're all false positives that do come up. Um, Having third-party software that shows you reconnaissance on your network. Once we get into looking at IDS, IPSs, then we look at managing secure platforms, virtualization, cloud computing, um, SDNs. I'm sorry, software-defined networks. Um, you know, where does the security lie in these devices that may be purely digital? Um, Virtualization, what kind of security do we have to have on a computer within a computer? Because isn't that host computer secure? So therefore, shouldn't it be inferred that the virtual computer is secure also? And that's one of the fallacies that people think about. They always assume uh, that the virtualized computer is secure because the host is secure. Um, in actuality, where that host is um, not secure. The virtual computer is not secure at all because it's its own entity basically that is just sharing resources from that host computer. Cloud computing. Once again, we get into, and this opens the door just a little bit more. What's going on in that cloud network? Is there a web server? Is there a database server? Not only are we looking at possibly virtualization, but what connects those two servers together? What devices are located in your cloud platform? Are they firewalls? Are they switches? Are they routers? Are they load balancers? Well, how are the load balancers working? Um, I'll probably open up my AWS. I, I don't. I'll have to check to see what I have in there still. Um, but you basically tear that whole system apart and say, okay, I have a security group, I have a web group. What's the web group allowed to do? What's the security group allowed to do? What's the data center group allowed to do? And you only build them doorways to specific parts, while you yourself may be able to log on to the server. And I always do add in that security, say, okay, only from this IP address am I allowed to log into that server. And I always put the public IP of my house, just to offer that extra security. SDN, software defined network, becoming more popular, more traction. We're looking at roles and rules and how they can manipulate files, manipulate applications on a computer. Are they allowed to read and write? Are they allowed to read? Are they allowed to read, write, and delete? And we look at that from that perspective. Let's see. What else? I'll probably start grading here tomorrow. Elementary schools are out today. Remember that this weekend I go on vacation to see my mom. So I'll be leaving here Thursday. Be gone till Monday. So Monday's video will probably be posted Tuesday. If you have any questions, definitely reach out through Google Hangouts. The internet access up there is very slow. If I can even get any at the hotel. The hotel usually has really bad internet. But just definitely join that Google Hangouts by clicking on the front page button, scrolling down, and we should see right there Google Hangouts and the Google Hangout prompt. That's probably the best way to get a hold of me after Thursday through Monday, since I'll have my cell phone out there, but probably not a computer. And I'll leave you guys at that.